Whoa. There is no handbook to this. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
That was just pretty good impact. All right, it has been a couple of days since we've been able to be on the roof. Being Christmas season and all, we've had quite a bit of get-togethers, the weekend that we had to do, and it was kind of nice to let the weather do its thing. It's melted all the snow off of the north side. The south side always stayed dry, but it's kind of a warmer day today, so we're not even dealing with water up there right now. It's actually going to be perfect conditions to hopefully get that cap done and then start making our way on the face. Well, I can honestly say this is a wonderful feeling to know that we are at this end of the shop and we have that 1 foot to put this last ridge cap on, and then also to just cut down these edges that are overhanging. And then I think because it kind of opens that corner back up, there's a cover piece that goes over it. I think we're going to work on that and try to get this end of the building at least sealed up with its cover pieces. What that entails, I'm not entirely sure. We got to look at the not really instructions, but whatever instructions we do have, we got to look at those and figure that out and try to see if we can get this end of the building sealed off and done and all the way ready. Well, my goal was to be on the edges of the building doing all the trim work today, and I hope I can still get to that, but right now I've had to be sorting through all the parts, getting them labeled according to their part numbers, and verifying the incorrect part numbers that were labeled, and I think I've got things mapped out pretty well, but there are some pieces that it's like, which goes first, you know, the chicken or the egg, because is it the gutters that I need to put on first or the trim piece? Because they do overlap and intersect, and I don't know if I do one, if I'm going to be mismeasuring for the other one. So I think I'm going to start with these the rain gutters. Now the rain gutters have caps that go on the end, but this piece of trim will actually cover all this, and it actually conforms to this kind of angle. Looks real clean and nice when it's all done, but you can't use the tap screws or the tech screws to screw this together because one, you'll either be poking out the backside and in your way, and the head of the screw will be in your way, or two, you're into this and those heads of the screws create a lot of surface area for debris. So they use pop rivets. So I've gotten me some pop rivets and I'm just working my way up and around, and then I will actually go back and seal this with a silicone so that it's watertight, so water doesn't drip out of here. It just goes this way in the gutter. And if you've never used a riveter, they're pretty cool. They have little teeth in here, kind of dies, and you determine the size that you need right here, and you determine the size you need for the, the strength that you need it to be, the size of head you want it to be. Anyway, you correspond this this shaft right here with the size of the die you need. This one is the size it's supposed to be. This is the right size we've got it in, and as you crimp it, these two teeth will pull that pin and make it mushroom down and sandwich in between there. It works really well. It's kind of a cool process, but it is slow. These two look really nice. That one clearly has a gap, so I'm gonna drill that guy and reset it real fast. This piece of gutter is all the way riveted, and you probably can get black rivets, but I'm not really worried about seeing those. And if I really don't like the look of them, I'll just touch them up with some paint. It's not a big deal. But now I just have to go back in and seal this at some point. But I wanna get this up in the air so that I can work my way back on this piece of trim. Doing this piece right here is a prelude to this piece right here because I can't work my way up that back seam, that farthest back section of the building. I can't get on top of that and do all that, I don't think, properly without having that gutter in place. So I think this is the order of operations. There is no handbook to this at all, and I am winging it, but I think we've got it. Realistically, this is what we're trying to accomplish right here, and it's actually this same angle of a gutter, so we just need to do that. I don't know, locate the gutter. Oh, 8 7/8. I probably put that too close. That will be okay. The gutter, attach the end cap, gutter, pop rivets, check to make sure all the edges are sealed with tube sealant. Insert the gutter into the rake trim, align the mitered edges, and attach the rake trim with 12 pop rivets. Right. One of the things that really isn't fun is taking all of the plastic. It's only on the trim pieces, and it's just because of the way they're built, but it sucks taking off. Although, I am very grateful that it's there because it does protect these trim pieces from getting scratched so easily. And I'm not sure if I should take it off before I attach it to the building, but to be honest, I don't want to take it off. It's hard to take off when it's not secured to something because the metal will bend and bow. And two, it makes it really vulnerable. I like that I can kind of strap this thing down and then just kind of yank at it to get all of this plastic off. So, I don't know, catch-22. It's just a part of this that you just have to think about and account for and clean up after. The amount of garbage that you have to throw away is a little crazy to me. But it does feel good to have this whole line sealed up and clean, or sealed up, and now it's watertight so that I'm not going to get water down in that corner of that wall. It can't get behind the wall anymore. It can't get behind the roof anymore. It's going to keep out, and it's going to watershed properly. So that feels really good to have that part done, but taking this stuff off really sucks. We got all of the trim done on the eaves, so now that's all the way sealed in. The roof and the walls are completely covered, and we got the cap piece put in there, and it runs all the way down to the awning side of the building. That feels so good to have that done. I will say this does not line up very easily. So I think one of the errors I made was I was starting to kind of secure things going up, and I don't know what's the best way to do this, because if you don't secure them, they won't stay steel. But if you leave them, but if you secure them too much, you could be kind of warping any movement that you may need to get that center cap to line up. So this little cap has to line up to both of those, and it doesn't have a lot of movement in it. And so you really kind of have to adjust these pieces as you go. And this piece we put all three of these in last night, and it was in the dark and we couldn't see exactly what we were doing, and we had them pulled down just a little too far. So I had to unscrew them, lift them up, put them in place, reseal those holes that we made to get it to line up on top. It does look fantastic now. Hindsight is going to make the opposite side of the building look a little better. I guess I should know better than to bring the tractor around the shop again, but I kind of had to. I knew this was going to be the end result either way, going up around the propane tank side or this side, but I figured this was, it is longer and muddier, but that there's more to damage. This, you can't really hurt much out here. We'll just take our time and get around the house. Well, we're making progress. It's kind of slimy on this side, dry on that side, but there's a little bit of rock because this is a kind of more used trail, and so far it's working. This topsoil is so good, but it is slimy in the wintertime. This is not at all how I was planning on spending this afternoon, but luckily we've got buckets. Sheets have backing behind them somewhere, and right here you have this big gap, and then right there on the beam you have a big gap, and on the other side the builders, they put a piece in here. So that's what we're trying to duplicate, is have pieces there so that there's not a big gap for where those kind of these siding pieces sit, so that it doesn't buckle or bow or anything. You've got backing everywhere. Because if you put a screw in everywhere on this, especially the more you can put, the more uniform, that panel becomes very rigid and strong. But if there's a lot of gap, I worry that we'll get flex and wind and just chatter that'll deteriorate the building over time.